And Keo Craver standing close to midfield awaiting the punt.
The officials will take an extra second. When a play like this happens in a review, they have to reset the ball, make sure that is accurate and it's back to the original line of scrimmage before they run this third down play.
Reset the ball and the yardsticks, which had moved on the apparent turnover. I think when all is said and done, Winnipeg's going to be glad that that interception was overturned, but we'll see. Jamie Borum might change our minds. Using as much of the clock against the wind. Short kick. Look at this. Uh-oh. Craver drops it. There's the other side of the coin. And who's got it? The battle continues in the pile.
Anything can happen once you put the special teams on the field, and how good of a challenge would this be for Ken Miller if the Riders get this fumble?
That challenge looks awfully good right now. Whose ball is it? Every rider on the field trying to sway the officials who continue to conference.
They got
it. It is Saskatchewan football. They lose the challenge, then they lose the football. It's been that kind of day for Winnipeg.
Remember, Chris, also the new rule this year, when you're successful in your challenges, you'll get an extra one. So Ken Miller wins the challenge, puts his teams on the field and the punt team, and then get the fumble recovery.
And Jarrell Freeman looks like he was the man who came up with the ball, and he's been a gunner on teams for Saskatchewan all day. So the Roughriders reload at their own 54. Play fake to Cates, and now they dump it off to Cates. And Wes Cates still going. At the 35 by Keo Craver. But that only pumps this throng up.
Jack Climby talked about misdirection for the Saskatchewan offense at halftime. This is a little example of it. There's Wes Cates there. He has just taken the play fake from Darian Durant. Then he goes into the line, breaks back out to the right. Little misdirection. That confuses the Winnipeg defense just long enough to get Cates into the secondary.
Claremont helps bring him for 20 yards and a first down. Pressure. Durant throws that football away. As Big Tug Brown bearing down again.
Some kind of year for the SFU grad. And congratulations to SFU, who won game one of the CIS season against the crosstown rival UBC Thunderbirds. I had a little discussion with Doug Brown about that.
Bobby Kahn,
yep,
a Klansman. And we want to wish teams across the country, the CIS, well underway now. More on that in a moment. 2nd and 10. Durant looks for Dressler! And he just missed bringing it in. Had a step on Jonathan Hefney.
Well, it's straight one-on-one. Hefney's trying to stay inside position, which he does. He allows Dressler that outside run. Now the throw has to be perfect, and really, folks, it is, because that's the only place Durant could put it, and Weston Dressler just can't come up with a kick. Now, he usually makes that one. It was a tough one. That was played perfectly by both players. Jonathan Hefney kept him outside, made it a perfect throw, and it was just out of the reach of Dressler's hand.
So a sign that the wind is still a big enough factor that they don't try the 43-yard field goal, and Borum will try and pin the Bombers. Craver again back with Javon Johnson. Gene Johnson, the former Rough Rider, not on the field, and little running kick there by Borum. And they're surrounded at the 15-yard line. So a left-footed effort for Jamie Borum.
like Jamie Borum wanted to keep the Winnipeg Blue Bombers honest, and he takes a look and see if he cannot run for a first down there when he sees it closed down. Real athletic play to kick it with his left foot as he was moving. He's a right-footed kicker.
So Michael Bishop and the Bombers start at their own 15 midway through this third quarter. And straight ahead, Fred Reed up to the 24. Keith Shulligan, the tackle.
Off the top of the show, Chris, you mentioned that Michael Bishop wearing a Saskatchewan jersey this time last year in the Labor Day Classic. He led the Riders to a win that day. But in that game, he threw for 107 yards and completed just 42% of the pass. And you get the sense that for the Bombers to win here this afternoon, he's going to have to amp up those passing numbers.
He needs the second half like he had in the Banjo Bowl when he ended up passing for 370 and 3 touchdowns. He's got Brock Ralph, who shakes the tackle from Omar Morgan and then gets pushed out up at the 43-yard line.
Kelly told me he's been pleasantly surprised by Brock Ralph's production and the fact that he's been able to stay healthy and stay on the field. That's been one of the knocks against Ralph, is that he gets nicked up and he's spent a lot of the time in the tub. And Mike Kelly says, you know, we don't ask too much of Brock Ralph, but he has performed when we've asked him to go out and make a catch for us.
Up at the 43, Ralph providing a first down. Couple of reads aren't there, and now over the middle he's got an open man. Adarius Bowman again! Still going! Inside the 30, the former Rough Rider has his second big play of the game.
And it starts because of Michael Bishop's arm strength, and he just threads the needle between a real small window to get the ball to Adarius Bowman, and then Bowman does the rest afterwards. There's Michael Bishop coming out, and watch how he delivers this pass, how small the window really is. He gets outside, Bowman's coming in, he throws across his body, there's a defender on either side of him, Tad Cornegay and Lance Frazier. He threads the needle between the two of them, and then Bowman takes it around the corner.
50 yards for the former Rider, who spent 9 games on the DL last year.
There's that deep set by the running backs.
Third straight trip to the red zone. Stopped to the goal line stand late in the first half. 3 the last time in. Fred Reed. And still nothing doing. Another big defensive play by Mike McCullough, starting at middle linebacker in the absence of Ray Williams.
You know, Mike McCullough comes in and he's in his third start for Ray Williams. Kim Miller talks about him as a real cerebral type player, a guy who understands formations, is always in the right place at the right time, can make all the checks on the field and get everybody lined up straight. That's a big play in the running game.
He had 13 starts at middle linebacker in 2006. Saskatchewan led the league in rush defense with him in the middle. Second down, Bishop to the end zone. Touchdown! What a catch! Adarius Bowman fighting off Eddie Davis. And we've got ourselves a game.
Eddie Davis cannot believe it. That's exactly what he did, Chris, as he fought off the coverage of Eddie Davis in the middle, and Bowman comes up big again. Sometimes you just want your players to win the one-on-one battles. A little switch here by the defensive backs as they're going to allow Omar Morgan to take the inside receiver Terrence Edwards, and they drop that one off to Eddie Davis. What a catch.
First time any Bomber other than Terrence Edwards has scored a touchdown through the air. Under 12 yards and a huge touchdown for the Bombers.
Yeah, he's got that 100-yard game. He had 195 coming in, so he's closing in on that mark. The first 8 games of the season.
There's Aaron Wagner on the short kickoff up across the 40-yard line. Let's take another look at the Bowman touchdown.
Well, I mentioned the switch in the secondary, so let me explain that. There is Omar Morgan and Eddie Davis right here. Bowman's on the outside, and watch how they'll switch. Now, Terrence Edwards starts inside, goes outside. Now, right there is where they make the switch. Omar Morgan picks up the inside guy, and Eddie Davis is in absolute perfect position as they come across the middle. He can't cover that any better, and Adarius Bowman wins the battle when the ball arrives.
Doesn't hurt when you're 6'4", 224, and Davis at 5'10", 186. Wes Cates back to work, and Doug Brown will haul him down. Toss him forward to the 45, and Cates has 4. So now the Bomber defense has a chance to keep this crowd silenced at Mosaic.
Well, it's that third quarter jinx that they continue to go through here in Saskatchewan, and you're absolutely right. A sold-out Mosaic Stadium is kind of sitting on their hands and going, uh-oh. Survive the third quarter has sort of been the theme for this team. 7 points in 8 games.
Let a 22-point lead against Edmonton get away earlier this year. Second down and 6. Crosser, Cates, first down, cross midfield. Wrestled down by Walls. 13 for Wes Cates.
Nice little pick play there. They'll use Chris Getzlaff to come across from the left side of the formation, Gates from the right, and then it's tough on the linebackers to decide which one to pick up. Getzlaff is right in the middle. You see Getzlaff sits down in the middle of the picture, and Gates cuts underneath that. And it's tough for Joe Lobendon to figure out which guy the ball is going to arrive to, and it ended up in Cates' hands.
Back to Cates. Nothing inside. There's Barron Simpson chalking up another tackle. And Simpson's been more active today after just 5 tackles in the last 2 games for a guy who had 14 in 1 game against the Argos earlier this year.
Now, Barron Simpson didn't say anything to me, but I've been talking to some of the people that watch practice all week long in Winnipeg. There's a few turf toes on that team. Terrence Edwards is one. He's the only guy practicing with it.
2nd and 9, and that pass caught. As Claremont's got another grab, and he is close to a first down.
Darian Durant just throws Jason Claremont open here to lead him into the middle. Because again, tight coverage, and you're seeing on the Labor Day weekend, you have to work for every inch. Darius Bowman had to work for his touchdown, and that time Jason Claremont had to work for that first down. If he gets it, they're going to take a look.
And it will be third down. Looked like he had the nose of the football there.
Well, you know what? He's taking another look at it. And he's saying first down.
Looked like he got the nose of the football.
Well, I think that it was the angle that the first down marker there, they were holding it on a slight angle. And they straightened it up and went, oh yeah, it is. That's how close it was.
So Darian Durant at 71.4%, came in at 57% on the season. Ken Miller said that's got to improve. And he has been much sharper percentage-wise today. First down, fake to Cates, look back to Cates, and now Rob Bag open, and he's brought down quickly. There's Sadiq Shabazz moving up and limits the gain.
Well, I mentioned SFU, so I'm going to allow you to take a second and talk about Rob Bag.
Well, I was going to